Concepts in a Teacup by HS Consultancy, presented by Harry Sewell.
False equivalences. Well, it's quite a basic concept, but I guess many people haven't heard of it. What it relates to is the fact that sometimes people will hear another tell a story about their experience and will meet them with a phrase something like, oh yeah, I get it, same for me, or yeah, same kind of thing has happened for me. And it's often well intentioned, it's kind of trying to create a connection. But sometimes what it does, it creates a false sense that the experiences are similar. So if you just imagine, as an example, if someone who had to regulate their blood sugar because they had diabetes, just for example, and they might be, going to a buffet counter with a colleague and they say, I need to kind of be careful, I need to regulate my blood sugar. If someone were to just say, oh yeah, I know what you mean, I'm like that, I know I'm really snappy when I don't eat, and yeah, I kind of have to really regulate my blood sugar, yeah, I completely get where you're coming from. You can kind of see it's a kind of a bizarre response. It isn't as though the other person's experience isn't valid. Of course, they may well need to regulate their blood sugar level for the reason that they've outlined, but it isn't the same. To say, oh yeah, I get it, it's the same for me, is to invalidate or to diminish some of the kind of impact that someone who has diabetes might have in relation to regulating their blood sugar levels. So we kind of take that principle, most people kind of get what I've just said. Now, what often happens is that sometimes people from racialized or minoritized backgrounds will experience things and talk about their experiences of discrimination. And another person might then meet them with a comment like, yeah, same kind of thing happens to me when I was at school. People used to tease me because I used to wear glasses, or whatever equivalence is being drawn. Or sometimes there'll be kind of forms of equality that someone's seeking, and others will say, well, yeah, I kind of think that should be afforded to everyone. And the key message here is that it isn't taking account of the long shadow of history, the kind of immediate or the long-term impacts of the past and how those show up in people's lives in the present day. So when we're saying, oh, same thing happened to me, or I know what you mean, it's the same for me, it doesn't take account of that bigger social and geopolitical context. And that's all it refers to. So it isn't to say, okay, someone is being malevolent when they say, ah, I get it, same for me. But it is just saying, maybe we can kind of pause and think, well, is it an equivalence, or is there something that makes that other person's experience unique that I'm not bringing into the frame